Sometimes you are using omega 2, sometimes max. M. Now say I am assuming omega m is the highest. So what is the bandwidth you are using? Bandwidth you are using, that means omega m minus 0. So that is the problem actually. That's why that FSL scale is the problem, that it is bandwidth intensive. And finally, what are the orthonormal sets of basis functions? That is root 2 by t cos omega j t. That is your psi j t for j1 to n, and also t is this is fine for orthogonal. That is this is, and then basically what is your, when you are calculating aij, okay, that means this aij is basically that this is from equation 3.11. That means if you can remember that we calculate aii and aij, that means aij, if I just psi I into psi j, if you can remember that integral aij is, that is integral of 0 to t psi I t and psi j. Okay, so now if you can remember that equation 3.11, that means we are just breaking it into the signal, we are just breaking it into the signal space, and then from there we are trying to calculate anything. That means I have this SITI equal to 1 to m, that means what is, if we, for the sake of understanding, what is my S1T to S2T to S3T. That was equal to what? Summation A1j over j equal to 1 to n. Clearly S2T, and finally we have SMT. So I equal to 1 to m, this is S1, S2, Sn, and I am doing, that means it is the, and there are m number of basis functions. Here it is m number of things and 2 number of basis functions. Means j equal to 1 to m. So other I am just, if I just do it in a, that means what I am writing. This 1t into a1 and similarly this 50. what is my, so that means S vector T equal to A of psi, and A is basically M cross N matrix. Okay, this is M cross 1 and this is M. Now when I calculate AIJ, it is like so yes to AIJ. Says AIJ, the ith rows by take. Okay, that means integral of SIT IJT and that's it. 0 to. Now, actually, basically, you have another term, this KJ, that KJ basically, that basically you have a basically you have another term, 0 to T, J T square. But this term is, we know that is the orthonormal case, this is 1. So I have this term. Now let us come to this one. So that means I have that AIJT is basically SIT, IJT. So it is SIT, IJT. Okay. So now, and if I do this thing, now what is my SIT? But SIT is itself something cos omega IT plus 5 with 2 by T cos omega JT. Okay. If I just do that, it will be, if I just integrate it, you will find that Aij is when I equal to J, then I have root T, and otherwise it will be 0. Okay. So let me, you see that cos omega IT plus 5, even if you do this, that means like cos omega IT plus 5, okay, and if you do this integration, you will find it, that cos omega it, cos omega it plus 5 and cos omega j, that means cos A cos B, that means cos A plus B plus cos A minus B, that means cos omega. So what will be the terms? That means I will have the, that means if I just 1 minute. That means what is my Aij? That is equal to integral of 0 to capital T. It is root E by T. SIT, that means cos omega IT plus 5. Okay. And SJT, that is IJT, 2 by T. Cos omega j. So if I just take it out, that means root E by T and 2 cos A cos B, that means 0 to T cos of omega I plus omega j T plus 5. plus cos A minus B. That means cos omega I minus omega J. If I just do this integration, you see that this term, whatever irrespective of omega I and omega J, this term will be 0. Okay. So I have, but this term means when I have omega I equal to, when omega I not equal to omega J, then this term is also 0. This whole integration term, that is also 0, because the integration of one period. Okay. Now, but when omega I equal to omega J, that means it is just root E by T. It is integration 0 to T. I have a cos phi dt. That means dt cos phi. That means root T cos phi. Root T cos phi. When I not equal to J and 0 if I equal to. So, sorry, if I equal to J, then it is this term. Okay. When I equal to J, and this is the phi. Okay. So that if we choose cos phi equal to 0, then it actually would be the book has chosen that. So that means that this is my EIJ, and what is one? That means, so I have this. I can, when I have this EIJ business, so I can. So that means I have only these terms, because only these terms. And I am basically calculating A11, A1. Say I am using two frequencies, BFS. Now, S1, 2 means if I have only two, psi 1, psi 2, there are two frequencies if I take. If there are some sort of m number of frequencies, then I will use means j equal to 1 to n, and then in this case what I am doing, j equal to n equal to 2 and m equal to n. If I otherwise I can choose this thing. So I will get all these a's and I will get this S1 is individual components. Okay. And when I get these individual components, that means I can also calculate that the distance between SIT and SJT. Okay. So what is the distance between SIT and SJT? So what is my SIT? That means if I just break it into that, that means that I can write it this one vector as, if you see, that means I can write my S1 as a vector where actually that, or that distance between that S1t and S2t by two vectors, and that is basically I have the term, but when I have I equal to j, then I have root t cos phi or root t. So that means I have, this is basically root t, this is root t, then AMN, that means when I equal to j, AMN, that time I have root t. Okay. So then that I can write it that we call M length vector. So S1t and S1 vector and S2 vector, the rest all are zeros. That means I can do, that means distance between the vector, say if I am doing S1, that means root t, all zeros. Okay. It means psi 1, psi 2, psi 9. It is n vector minus 0. So that means what is the distance? You can calculate the distance. So that means this is my root t, this is root t, this is root t, this is root t, this distance is e plus e to be square root of. So for I am not equal to 0, for I am not equal. So now if I do the non-coherent detection, the non-coherent detection means that is first of all that it is detection of, first of all, say let us talk about detection of differential PSK. Okay. That means in that differential PSK means what will we do? It is, you see, that means see, earlier when I have the currently received signal vector, I directly calculate the phase of this one. That is the absolute phase we need to get. But now in the differential PSK, what we do, my previous one I have received this signal. Okay. That's, and that current one I have received A2 and B2. And for my detector, it is basically detecting the differential phase. Differential phase means this one minus. So this is my differential phase. So this is the differential detection. So means just let me see, that is the transmitted waveform, that is SIT is cos omega. As we were talking about, please remember that we are talking about differential phase shift. But now it is differential, DPSK. Now in this one, what I am doing, so this is the transmitted signal, it has a certain amount of phase. Now the received signal is this one with some alpha amount arbitrary constant. It is generally a random variable, uniformly distributed random variable. That means this earlier you see not coherent detection, this term was not there. Whatever you saying. And why I am putting this plus alpha means that means earlier what have happened, that means when you have your RT, you know that where is that RT, and RT is between, let's say RT is, say this is 0 and this is T, these you knew correctly. Okay, and you say I do the integration in this 0 to capital T, where is RT 0, where is capital T? In this case, the received signal's phase information is not very much known. So that's why that whether 0 is here or 0 is here or 0 is that, you don't know. So that's why that equivalently I am modeling it as some random phase which is uniformly distributed between 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so when it is there, this alpha you do not know deterministic. So that means there's a phase noise at the area. Okay, this is very important. See, this is the phase noise in the area plus channel additive white person. Now, for coherent detection, we generally used to do matched filter, and the matched filter is for matched filter, and for non-coherent detection, this is not possible because matched filter out is a function of unknown angle. The point is that unknown angle alpha. Now, if we assume that alpha varies slowly related to period time 2t, the phase difference between two successive one, That means if I am assuming that alpha is constant, okay, between two symbols. Because alpha is not, so alpha is a random variable, but alpha is very slowly varying. So then what we are doing, that means the phase with the theta k t2 plus alpha minus, say next symbol theta j t1 plus alpha. So alpha gets cancelled. So I have done, this is the previous one, the current phase, and that is the previous phase T2 and T1. Okay, that is then basically this is a phi I T2 with respect to T2. Now that here, this is my phi I. This is my phi, and I am assuming that phase that alpha for this one and alpha for that one both are same. Now in this one, what we are doing, that means that binary differential phase shift key. That if I just say this is my sample index k0 to time index. Now this is the bit stream that is coming, message symbol or message bits. Now that I have a differentially encoded message. Differentially encoded message means this is my CK. Either I how to do the differential encoding, either I do the XOR or modulo 2 operation in this one, or I do the some kind of overbar. Okay. Now that means initially I am assuming CK. This is the CK is 1. That means the XOR means 1 1 0 zeros complement. That means that is 1. Then 1 1 0 zeros complement 1. 1 0 1 1's complement 0. In this way, so that means this is my message. This is my message. And this one, and please see that first bit is arbitrary. If you know the first bit, then rest of the things are valid. And my phase shifts, when it is 1, then phase shifts are +5, and then 0, then phase shifts are 0. Okay. So in that way, that means it is that means if first symbol is this one, next symbol is again phase shift 5, then next symbol, that means first symbol it is say 0, then the 0 is 1. First symbol is 1, then again phase shift is 5, that means this is 1, then phase shift is 0, then it is 0. In that way, it is 1 or 0, 1 and 0. That means you see, that means when it is 5, then it is 1, and when it is 0, phase shift 0, message is 0. In this one, basically, you are just adding up things and corresponding phase shift, you see that corresponding phase shift. It is not phase. Okay, and you are adding up. Okay. Now, next is, that means how will I detect the symbol? That means first I have RT, I have a delay, then this is my reference. Now I have that means delay means I am doing the XOR, that is that, and from that I have a coherent detection. This coherent detection, we know that is the decision state. And what is my detected message? Detected message means if I have this phase shift and all these things, I have my detected message is this one. If it is do by hand, you will get that. It will be same as the original message 1101. Now, so I will not go to this non-coherent one. Now we will move to the more waveform coding. Okay. Now in this waveform coding, that means here we will talk about the That means here we will talk about a new chapter. This is a channel coding. Now, channel coding means told that means we are basically operating in this block. This is an optional block, and similarly, I have a channel. Okay. Now, in this one, that means these channel nonlinearities can be taken care by this encoding decoding technique. Now, in this, that there one important thing is that waveform coding. That is, waveform coding means transforming the waveforms into better waveforms. Okay, so that means what we mean by that? So that the detection process will be less subject to error. And structured sequence deals with the transforming the data sequences into so-called quote-unquote data sequences. Now let us see what it is. Now, first of all, we know that in this one, that means we are generating the pulse waveforms. You can remember in the baseband case we are sending the pulses. Now that one is that that means this S1T is basically one pulse, and another is some sort of a half means half period delayed pulse S1T and S2. Okay. And they are basically orthogonal sets. You see that if I do this thing, you calculate the integral of S1 IKT, SISJT as PT is up to 0 to T and PT minus T2, that is also 0 to T. Okay, now you see that say I have a S1T and I have a S2T like this. Okay, PT minus T by 2. So I will have half, means the half period shifted. Say it's the sinusoid. Now this is my one period. If I do this half period shift kind of thing T by 2, then it will be, this is my T by 2. If I shift to from that, is I have this thing. And if I just do the see this sine omega 0 and minus sine omega 0 T. So this is some sort of a, this is the vector representation. This is the 180 degree phase shift S1 and S2. Now, and another one, say, so this is antipodal waveforms. Okay, that means I will generate good pulses. The basic point is that what pulses we are talking about in baseband, and we are sending, depending on the symbol, we are sending pulses. Now we will send the good pulses. Now good is how that is seen in the channel coding block. Now this one, say this is S1T, I am sending, this is the pulse. Now if I have a delayed one, that is the pulse, that for the assume that I am assuming the pulse's support is up to tau, that is 0 to less than T by 2 duration. And this T minus T2, that is a delayed one. So if I just do the integral of S1T, S2T, dt, then I will find that will be 0, and when I have only S1T, I have the value. And you see that the vectorial representation, this is an orthogonal one. These are orthogonal. This is a binary orthogonal signal set. Okay, and this is antipodal signal set. Okay. Now in case of waveform coding, that means that in the waveform coding that when we say, that means this this orthogonality condition, that we make the life simple. Because orthogonality condition means always you have to check that whether they are in this direction, that direction, and you have to basically calculate the cross correlation coefficient. Basically, that means cross correlation coefficient means if S1T and S2T they are 0 mean, basically what you are doing, that cross correlation coefficient means integral of SIT, SJT, and dt, 0 to t divided by 0 to t by square t, dt, 0 to t This is basically your CIJ or rather cross correlation between this, assuming that integral of this SIP and this is JT, they are the 0 will be okay. That means this is your covariance term, this is your variance term. Okay. Now, if generally what we are assuming is this term is 1, okay, also this term is 1, so the correlation I can take it as like this, okay. So that means if I take, that means this, if this magnitude, say that this magnitude m, that means it is m square, that means m square into t by 2, that is if I take that one is 1, then basically the denominator is 1. Okay. Okay. So that means if it is t by 2, that is area is m square t by 2, that is equal to 1, is m equal to 50 by 2. I think like this. But anyway, now in this one, that we talked about that number of digit exits divided minus number of digit exits by total number of digits in sequence. For I equal to j, j equal to 1, and otherwise it is 0. That means the orthogonality condition in equation is presented in terms of waveforms SIP and SJT, where ij is 1 to m. M is the size of waveform. Size of waveform set means that, to remember, psi1t, so I have int, okay, but I have, this is the, if you remember that waveform set means A I is a vector psi1 to psi n, this is 1 to m, this is m cross n. Okay. So this is that m, that is this m is the size of waveform set. That is S1 T, S2 T, S3 T. That is size in each waveform in the set consists of a sequence of pulses, with a level +1 or -1, which in turn represent binary ones. Now the orthogonal codes. Okay. Now orthogonal codes means, that means what I am doing, if I have a data set is 0 and 1 bit can be. Now this one, that means the 1 bit data set can be transformed using the orthogonal code words of 2 digits each. That means that we see that this one and this one, these two columns, they are orthogonal. That's why it is orthogonal code words. So similarly, you can say this one and this one is also. Now, if I have the data set like this, that means 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So that means 2-bit data set. So here it is 1-bit data set, only 1. So that means I will rather from 0, if I have a message string 0, 0, 1, 0. Then for this 0, I will represent, break it into 0, 0. This 0 is also 0, 0. 1 means 0, 1. 0 means 0, 0. That means instead of 4 message bit, I am making 8, some sort of a channel bit. So that is my bit size. So similarly, I have this, if it is 2 bit, then 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. I have an orthogonal code set, which is basically I am doing it for this 0, I am putting a 0, 0. Now this, when I am putting a 0, 0, then 0, 0, 0, 0. Now 0, 1 means something like this, and 1 0 is say, I'm just doing it like that in such a way so that this H2 will be H1, H1, H1 and this H1 complement. Okay, that means you see that there's a reason. Okay, why I am doing this. Now you see that means I am putting H1. That means H1 means, see, you have seen that H1 is an orthogonal matrix. That means H1 transpose H1 equal to 0 actually. Now, see, this is H1, this is H1, this is H1 complement, this is H1. Okay. Now, if I do in this way, you see that always H2 will be a orthogonal matrix. That means basically what I are doing when you have a data set of 0, 0, you are transmitting this. Then you have a data set of 0, 1, you are transmitting this. Then you have a 1, 0, you are transmitting this. Then you have a data set of 1. Now when you are doing this, you see that this 0, 0 is orthogonal to all three. This one is orthogonal to all the rest of the three. Each one, ith row is orthogonal. I generally prefer that to say in a column way. That means, though that means what columns way is what I like to say. Anyway, it doesn't. So you can say that 0, 0 I will transmit by this, 0, 1 I will transmit by this, 1, 0 I will transmit. If you take that orthogonality, that means that the number of, now how to check the orthogonality, that means number of digit agreement minus number of digit disagreement divided by total. So number of digit agreement 1, 2, number of digit disagreement 2, that is 2 minus 2, 0 by total number 4. So anyway it is 0. So similarly, if I have a orthogonal means 3-bit data one, then what I will do, H3 equal to H2, 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 and H2 complement that way. So that means that HK matrix, its dimension is 2 to the power k. This is called a Hadamard matrix. And actually for a k-bit data set, HK is HK minus 1, HK minus 1, HK minus 1, and H bar k minus 1. Okay. So, and you see that means that each of the column of this one, they are orthogonal. Okay, in this way we generate, and just as memory signaling with an orthogonal modification format, that is MFSK, that means improves the PV performance. Similarly, this waveform coding with an orthogonality structured signal set in combination with coordination produces exactly same input. Okay. So that means, see, this I will explain again maybe tomorrow what is the meaning of it. Basically, you see that means you are basically sending the pulses. That means if you see this, the wave, it is a waveform. Okay, that means you are sending the beta waves. Okay, that means beta waves means basically what do you mean by this orthogonality? Orthogonality means basically you are sending this type of pulses. That means this is 1 to this is for 0, 0 you are sending. See, I am just telling you an example. That means say in your case, say I have a so I have to send 4 different things. So that means 2 bits grouped together. So I have to send 4 different pulses. Now what I am doing, they are orthogonal means, but I like to say this is your T. Now for first row, I am sending these pulses. Just all of them. For second one, I am sending these pulses. For third row, I am sending these pulses. For fourth row, I am sending these pulses. They are all orthogonal. So that means that's why it's called orthogonal code word set. Okay. So it is like that only. Okay, waveform coding. So that means these are my pulse. This is the waveform. This wave I am just from the pulses. I am choosing the right pulses. Okay. So and What about the bi-orthogonal signal set? Bi-orthogonal signal set is basically that dk is basically hk minus 1 and hk minus 1 complement. That is what d3, that means this is my h2 and this is my h2's complement. Now h2 means you know that h1, 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 h1. Similarly, this one is h1 complement, h1 complement, h1 complement. So now, what is my h1? If you remember that this h1 is top 3, 0 and 1. So that means this is my h1. This h1 is basically this top 3, 0 and this is also in this. Now in this bi-orthogonal one, that means that m total signal can be obtained from an orthogonal set of m by 2 signals by augmenting it with the negative of each other. Okay, so that means you see that earlier you have this for this data set, you have some sort of 8. So that means this is one column, this 8 columns. But here you are getting 4 columns, but still there are something like that. And in this bi-orthogonal one, that means when I have mod I minus j equal to m by 2, when I equal to j, the bi-orthogonal set is getting 2 sets of orthogonal codes. See, there are 2 important things. Why the name bi-orthogonal? Bi means some sort of 2 sets of orthogonal codes. That means that if when I equal to j, then it is 1. That is our general orthogonal sets idea. Okay. Now, if I have I minus j, if it is I not equal to j, but I not equal to j, generally we had 0. Okay, but when I not equal to j, but difference is equal to m by 2, and difference is not m by 2. That means say m equal to say 8, then in case m equal to m by 2 is 4, then I have minus 1 and 0. Okay. So that means if I now, so this is about, and similarly I have some another code, that means this one that we will discuss maybe on Monday. Okay. Now this waveform coding will, and you see that the receiver side, what we are sending, that means we are doing the demodulation to the baseband. This is the demodulation to the baseband, and depending on this orthogonal pulse waveform set, I am doing the correlation with individual waveform set, and I am just doing the correlation and checking that which waveform choose the right waveform from that one. So that's why when why I am talking about orthogonality, when you put the wrong waveform, then basically these all outputs will be zero. That means when you are sending with the right waveform and do the correlation, then here you have 1, rest all are zeros, so your decision will be much. That's why you are talking about the orthogonal signals, orthogonal waveforms. Okay, thank you very much.